Hi, it's Jeff, Drunken Cyclist again. Here I am again with my buddy Christophe, who is finishing up his Tour de France, even though the other Tour de France is still going on for another couple weeks, a few days. So Christophe, why don't you tell us where you are, where you've been, and what we're going to be tasting today.
Yeah, it's been quite a bit of a journey since we last spoke, Jeff, when I was sitting on the top of the tower of Montezargues in Tavel, in the south of the Rhône Valley. So it took me 3 days to cross France. I crossed the south part of the Massif Central, the old mountains that are in the center of France with some old volcanic hills. It took me 3 days. It's been a bit lonely because you don't see much about cows and sheep, but you come across marvelous scenery and you meet great people in the small villages that are dotted all around the country. So I made it to the Bordeaux area where the Domaine Richard have first actually started back in the 1950s. So I'm here now finishing at Chateau Victoria, the estate behind me.
And is that your bike up there on the chateau? Is that?
It is indeed, yeah. I thought it's a nice touch. I cycled in. I'm sure you've seen some of my little videos. So I cycled in the 15th century cellar of Château-Lannert. I cycled in the 18th century Château de Barbe last night. So there's always those are big estates, so might as well use them.
What was one of the more interesting things that you discovered that you really hadn't anticipated on your journey?
Well, first of all, I think discover that there's so many things I don't know about my own country. That within 1 day of cycling, which at the maximum I did 200 kilometers, which is for me was a lot of cycling.
That's a lot for Americans. That's 125 miles, so that's a lot for anyone.
But between the morning and the evening, I felt like I completely changed countries. I had changed landscape, but I also had changed light. I had changed vegetation. I had changed architecture. And I think cycling is the best way to see those changes. It's fast enough that you can cover maybe not 200 kilometers a day, but certainly comfortably, I would say 100 kilometers. But it's slow enough that you can stop. You're close to the ground. You see, you smell, you see the light. And I think this has been really the greatest memory is those amazing changes hour by hour in this relatively small country that is France, but it's amazing diversity is really what I enjoy the most.
Oh wow! And you said this is the first time you've been to some of these places, right? You've never.
Yes, absolutely, because I crossed places where there is no main road, and I've been sometimes for literally hours on end. I was pretty much by myself, and it was very, very interesting.
So where are you done cycling? Are you going to do some more riding tomorrow, or what's next on your agenda? So
I finished, I would say, on the cycling bit, my official assignment. So I've completed the 1,200 kilometers of the Tour de France of the Domaine Richard, arriving here in the Haut-Médoc, just outside of Pauillac at Château Victoria. So tomorrow I have a sort of a half day before I have meetings and then a dinner down in Bordeaux, in the city of Bordeaux. So if the weather stays like this, probably I'm gonna take the bike again for a spin to complete in a way my the cycle and go to the Atlantic to finish at the ocean before I take the train back to the Mediterranean, because as I'm sure you know, I'm actually based at Château-Lannert on the Mediterranean. So this is it will be my last cycling bit.
Okay, so from the cycling side, this is a curiosity of mine. Any problems with the bike? Any flat tires? Any unforeseen kind of mishaps that you had to deal with?
No, very small issues, to be honest. the fact that I could resolve them by myself means that they were very small, because I'm no mechanic whatsoever. And this was one of a big worry, to be honest, on this trip. It's one of the reasons I was hoping to have someone like you with me. But fortunately, it was really very little adjustments I had to make. And so I really can't complain.
Oh, good. And you kept dry the whole time for the most part, or no rain?
Yes, I had I had the beginning. I had the weather was a bit changing in the when I was in the most northern part I've been in the South Burgundy, but then it's been mostly sunny. But I guess the tough bit also being by myself on the bike is the last 4 days going after I crossed the Rhone, going straight west, almost all the way to the Atlantic. I'm only around from here, should be only around less than 40 kilometers from the ocean. I had a very strong, two very strong westerly winds, so the Atlantic winds, which are the main winds in this part of France. So I was fighting against the wind most of the time, but I just adapted my pace and it worked out.
So if we do this, this happens again next year or in subsequent years, we might want to start in Bordeaux and go the other way.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, from that perspective, absolutely, you would want to go from here, Bordeaux, all the way to Beaujolais, and then down the Rhone. I think that in theory anyway, from the main winds,
Right.
because they blow from the west in this part of France, and they blow in the Rhone, the south part of the Rhone. The main wind, as you well know, is Mistral. But this can change. But the weather has been very, very good. I don't have any complaints on that.